So today we're going to show you how to clean a dog's ear. We've got Dexter here today. He's just under 4 months old. He's a Columbus Spaniel crossed with a Cocker Spaniel. Being a Spaniel breed, they have quite heavy ears and they have quite a lot of hair around their ears, so generally they do get quite mucky from quite an early age, so it's always quite good to get them used to having their ears cleaned from that early age. And also it just it's good to have a look in their ears. I think as owners we kind of take it for granted not to look at different areas that aren't on show, whereas like a German Shepherd or a Border Collie where their ears stick up, it's a bit more obvious if they're a bit gunky. So the area that we're looking at is if we lift up this big flap, which is called the pinna, and we're looking down into this area here. They're not too bad actually, to be honest, but we're just going to pop some cleaner down there. We tend to use just a broad spectrum cleaner. You can get it from your vets or local supermarket or pet centre, so it doesn't really matter what you use, just a broad spectrum cleaner. I've got cotton buds out. Generally speaking, you shouldn't really use cotton buds at home unless you know what you're doing, because there is what's called the eardrum, and if you put the cotton bud down too far, you can actually burst their eardrum. It's extremely painful and it never properly heals again, so that's something that we sort of tend to steer away from. We will sometimes use them in practice, but obviously we're a bit more accustomed to how far down to use it. So I'm just going to use little bits of cotton bud at the moment. Going to pop a little bit down. Good boy. All right, buddy. I know it's a bit cold, isn't it? So good, decent squirt, keep the pinner up, and then we just want to massage the area, and then you'll sort of almost hear it squelching, and normally the dogs will go, oh, that's really nice, which he is. And then we're sort of doing it in a round but upwards motion, so if there is any dirt down there, we're sort of bringing it up to the surface, and then we're going to use the cotton balls to take that away. So I think that's a good old scrub in there. And then so it's not too bad, there's a little bit of muck down there. And then another trick, although it's not particularly nice for us, is to stand back and actually let him shake his head, because again, that brings everything to the surface. Only if he wants to, there we go. They normally will. So again, we'd repeat that on the other side. And I mean, cleaning of the ears can be a sort of 2 to 3 times a week basis, depending on how bad they are. How often do you clean them? 2 times a week, yeah. So and they're relatively clear, so that's what I probably do in terms of that. If there is any sort of funny smell or you're concerned about an infection or anything like that, then obviously do consult your vet, and we can have a good look down there with what's called Notascope. So it's a magnified look down the ear, but otherwise just using a broad spectrum cleaner would be good.